Hello and welcome back to another Fear the Walking Dead video, and today we'll be talking about Fear the Walking Dead Season 8 Episode 2 and the big reveal that June has found a possible cure to the Walker virus and Alicia is the key. So in the episode we find out that in the 7 years June ran a research facility to try and find a cure with radiation. She basically calls out Alicia and we get a confirmation that Alicia was immune, and it also is backed up by external factors. Just before Season 8 came out, the showrunners confirmed that the final part of Alicia, the last thing we see of her waking up on the beach, all did happen. She did wake up, she did get better, she did walk off. It wasn't in her head. So this basically confirms that they did just pull an immunity story with Alicia in Season 7, and they're going to pull a cure story in Season 8. We find out in the episode that June's radiation idea does kind of work. With them blasting people with enough radiation, the Walker virus actually goes away and they survive the bite. However, they need so much radiation, they need to be euthanized shortly after because it just ruins their quality of life. So you either die from a bite or die from radiation sickness. One is just faster than the other, so a bite is still a death sentence, but you can prolong it now with radiation. And going back to Alicia and then basically confirming she was immune in Season 7, why did it work for her? And I definitely think there's a solid reason, and that is because what June is doing is backwards. They are being bitten first and then radiation is introduced. However, for Alicia, she had radiation first. In Season 5, she got a massive dose of radiation by getting Walker radioactive guts in her face, mouth, eyes, all that. And then she was bitten later during Season 7. And I don't think being it this way around, maybe the radiation gives you some sort of resistance to the Walker virus, and maybe when the virus gets in you, the radiation mutates your cells, or it just kills off the virus that is inside the Walker cells. Maybe it means that she will not turn when she dies. We know that it stops the bite process from killing you and turning you. Maybe it also stops you from turning when you die. We do not know. All we know is that she cannot be bitten, but we don't know if she can die or turn. Another character who had a very similar event to Alicia and was basically played off as the writers don't know the lore of the Walking Dead universe was John Dory, and that is that he was scratched. And if you've ever watched The Walking Dead, the first episode of that show says if you get scratched or bitten, you turn. So we knew that a scratch can kill you, but John Dory was scratched by a walker and he never turned it. Maybe that's because he got the radiation dose first and then the scratch was introduced later. So maybe that is another small character that was low-key immune. We didn't see if he was properly immune because he later dies from being eaten by a horde of walkers. But that does seem like they were hinting at, or they've retconned that also, to be a subtle hint to this later cure story. However, what if they're going to confirm more characters are immune? We know Alicia is basically confirmed immune. I'm stretching it for John Dory. It might have just been a retcon or the writers don't know it, but I'm trying to say that's happened because they suddenly thought of something. However, we have this theorized process of making someone immune, radiation, then later bite. But almost every other character on Fear, maybe outside of Strand, has had a massive dose of radiation. So maybe that is what they're going to go down. Maybe June doesn't find a cure. She finds out if you get doused of radiation first and later bit, you'll get sick but not turn. And maybe that is why they chose to have Dwight and Sherry's son bitten and not just a random child. Maybe because Dwight and Sherry were doused of radiation, then Sherry got pregnant. Maybe they have produced a child that has that same maybe mutation that Dwight and Sherry have unknowingly and is also going to be somewhat immune. We also know that Dwight and Sherry will reunite with their son. We saw it in the trailer and it doesn't look like he is dying, so maybe June finds a cure, or more likely they find out he is immune because of the radiation process that his parents went through and the exposure our Fear characters have been subject to. Maybe that means most of our characters are going to be somewhat resistant or immune to the Walker virus. And this is more what I'm leaning towards than them just finding a cure. I feel like if they find a cure, you'd be like, why did the CRM not figure this out? Why did these massive these communities we've seen not find this out? Why were they not looking for a cure in World Beyond but find a way to degrade walkers? maybe they didn't know the process that our fear characters have unknowingly come across of radiation first, and if you get enough radiation, you become resistant to bites. And that is my video, so please tell me down in the comments, what do you think about my theory that almost all our characters could secretly be immune, and Alicia was just the first of many. They have all been through radiation first process, so maybe the process is going to be you get doused with radiation, and if you get bit, you're somewhat resistant. So please tell me down below, do you think Alicia is actually the first of many and is the secret key to this supposed cure, or do you think this would just be a red herring and Finch is just still going to die and there's no cure possible? I'd like to know all your thoughts down below. So goodbye, peace out, and I'll see you in my next video.